The Essays of Francis Bacon, of Atheism. I had rather believe all the fables and the legend and the Talmud and the Alcoran than that this universal frame is without a mind, and therefore God never wrought miracle to convince atheism, because his ordinary works convince it. It is true that a little philosophy inclineth man's mind to atheism, but depth in philosophy bringeth men's minds about religion. For while the mind of man looketh upon second causes scattered, it may sometimes rest in them and go no further. But when it beholdeth the chain of them, confederate and linked together, it must needs fly to providence and deity. Nay, even that school which is most accused of atheism doth most demonstrate religion, that is, the school of Leucippus, and Democritus, and Epicurus. For it is 1,000 times more credible that 4 mutable elements, and 1 immutable fifth essence, duly and eternally placed, need no God, than that an army of infinite small proportions, or seeds unplaced, should have produced this order and beauty without a divine marshal. The Scripture saith, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. It is said, the fool hath thought in his heart, so as he rather saith it by root to himself, as that he would have then that he can thoroughly believe it, or be persuaded of it. For none deny that there is a God, but those for whom it maketh that there were no God. It appeareth in nothing more that atheism is rather in the lip than in the heart of man, than by this, that atheists will ever be taking of that their opinion, as if they fainted in it, within themselves, and would be glad to be strengthened by the consent of others. Nay more, you shall have atheists strive to get disciples, as it fareth with other sects, and which is most of all, you shall have of them that will suffer for atheism and not recant. Whereas if they did truly think that there were no such thing as God, why should they trouble themselves? Epicurus is charged that he did but disassemble for his credit's sake when he affirmed there were blessed natures but such as enjoyed themselves without having respect to the government of the world, wherein they say he did temporize, though in secret he thought there was no God. But certainly he is traduced, for his words are noble and divine. Non Deus vulgi negare profanum, sed vulgi opinionis dig applicare profanum. Plato could have said no more, and although he had the confidence to deny the administration, he had not the power to deny the nature. The Indians of the West have names for their particular gods, though they have no name for God, as if the heavens should have had the names Jupiter, Apollo, Mars, etc., but not the word Deus, which shows that even those barbarous people have the notion, though they have not the latitude and extent of it, so that against atheists the very savages take part, with the very subtlest philosophers. The contemplative atheist is rare, a Diagoras, a Bion, a Lucian, perhaps, and some others, and yet seem to be more than they are, for that all that impugn a received religion or superstition are by the adverse part branded with the name atheists. But the great atheists indeed are hypocrites which are ever handling holy things, but without feeling, so as they must needs be cauterized in the end. The causes of atheism are divisions in religion, if they be many, for any one main division addeth zeal to both sides, but many divisions introduce atheism. Another is scandal of priests, when it is come to that, which Espernard saith, non est iam dicere, ut populus sic, sacerdos, quia nec sic, populus ut sacerdos. A third is custom of profane scoffing in holy matters, which doth by little and little deface the reverence of religion. And lastly, learned times, specially with peace and prosperity, for troubles and adversities do more bow men's minds to religion. They that deny a God destroy man's nobility, for certainly man is of kin to the beasts by his body, and if he be not of kin to God by his spirit, he is a base and ignoble creature. It destroys likewise magnanimity and the raising of human nature. For take an example of a dog, and mark what a generosity and courage he will put on when he finds himself maintained by a man who to him is instead of a god, or melanor natura, which courage is manifestly such as that creature, without the confidence of a better nature than his own, could never attain. So man, when he resteth, and assureth himself upon divine protection and favour, gathereth a force and faith which human nature in itself could not obtain. Therefore, as atheism is in all respects hateful, so in this, that it depriveth human nature of the means to exalt itself above human frailty. As it is in particular persons, so it is in nations. Never was there such a state for magnanimity as Rome. Of this state, hear what Cicero saith, quam volumus licet patres conscripti nos amemus, tamand nec numero Hispanos, nec robore Gallos, nec celidite penos, nec ortibus Grecos, nec denic hoc ipso huius gentis entere domestico nitivoc sensu Italos ipsos en Latinos, sed pietet ac religione at hac una sapientia quod deorum immortalium numin omnia regi gubernaric perspeximus omnes gentis nationesque superavimus.